We welcome you to the City Blue Technologies broadcast booth for today's coverage between the Eureka Red Devils and MUW here in Columbus, Mississippi. Very excited to be back on the air. Eureka, if you remember from just a couple days ago, coming off an 87-60 loss against Lyon College back in Batesville, Arkansas. The theme for Eureka this season has been production of a very competitive first half, but the Red Devils defensively have been allowing too much separation, and that has been a point made by Coach Pace that he wants his players to focus on. Guard the rim. Do not let players score in the paint. Limit those opportunities. Execute on second chance opportunities themselves. Eureka has struggled. They get in the paint. They do get their own offensive board from time to time, but they are not successful on a lot of these putbacks. That's going to be something they're going to have to overcome if they want to come out with their first win of the season. And of course, ball control. Do not put yourself in a position where you allow the other team to execute off of your mistakes. Eureka, of course, 0-21, still looking for their first win of the season, but let's take a look at MUW. 4-15 overall, 3-8 in conference play. MUW's most recent matchup resulted in a 76-74 loss right here in Columbus, Mississippi against Blackburn. MUW now on a losing streak of 5 games, 3 which have been on the road. So of course they've been dealing with not playing at their own home court, but we are approaching the end of the season. And MUW seems to have released their foot off of the gas. Against Blackburn, they choked a double-digit lead in the fourth quarter. Now, we know Eureka, in terms of offense, their best quarter all season has mostly been in the second quarter. But if they can get an opportunity against MUW in quarter number 4, if they can stay persistent, they have a very good chance to win this ball game. Eureka, with the way they've been playing, keep the games close in the first 2, maybe 3 quarters. So if they can really just pull through and stay persistent, they have a very good chance at winning this ball game. Conley Langford for MUW might be their only hope for the Owls. MUW is not eliminated from the SLIAC tournament as of right now. It's a very tight race, but their chances are still available. So they will have to win this game if they want to remain in that top 6 spot in SLIAC play. But for now, both teams get ready to take the court. Again, you are listening to EC 103.1, live from the City Blue Technologies broadcast booth. Matthew Swan on the call. Eureka in the maroon, MUW in their white and blue. The starting 5 for the Red Devils: Brooklyn Bowman, Miracle Armstrong, Abigail Martinez, Layla Hadley, and Kayla Collins. So it's Bowman and Mia Bowen in the center for the tip, and here we go. Underway, Bowen tips it in front of her, and immediately on the other end, it's Fantasia Wilson with the 2 points, getting MUW started early. Bowen with a nice tip in the direction that MUW was looking for. Red Devils respond by pushing the pace. Here's Hadley, top of the key. She had to circle out for a minute and try to reset here. Hadley drifts to her right. In the corner, here's a 3. That's off the mark from Kayla Collins on the right side, and it's Wilson picking up the rebound. Wilson will pass into the hands of Jakayla Smith, right wing, on the opposite side of the floor from where I am sitting. That pass was deflected by Bowman. MUW able to recover, and underneath the right side of the basket, Jakayla Smith knocks down the bucket. A quick 4-0 lead for the Owls. Hadley passes across half court. Collins standing beyond the right wing. Hadley on the Owls logo. Same play. This time gets inside the perimeter. Resets now beyond the left wing. Here's a 3 off the mark. Armstrong tipped it out of bounds, and it'll go back to MUW. So the Eureka Red Devils are led under head coach Isaiah Pace. This is his first season, as mentioned previously, but he continues to develop the player develop mindset. This has been a development type of year for Eureka. Here's Bowen in the paint, right side of the basket, and knocks down the score over Brooklyn Bowman. 6-0 MUW. Here's Hadley across half court. Finds Martinez. Martinez digs inside the perimeter, will spin out as she is heavily guarded by Wilson. Bowman kicks it out. Armstrong behind the back right side, floats it up with the right hand and knocks it down. Miracle Armstrong silencing some of the fans here. Smith on the other end pushes the pace over Bowman, no good. And they're going to call Bowman for the blocking foul. So clock will stop at 8:03. It is a 6-2 score with MUW on top. And it'll stick with the Owls, of course. Jakayla Smith at the free throw line. Eureka College basketball is made possible by City Blue Technologies of Peoria, an Epson distributor serving Central Illinois. City Blue offers Epson Precision Core heat-free printing as an alternative to laser printers. City Blue was founded in 1968 and serves more than 5,000 active customers. Learn about sustainable printing solutions from City Blue Technologies at citybluetechnologies.com. Smith able to go 1 for 2 at the line. Armstrong with a sidearm pass to Hadley inside the paint, and she lost it on the right side of the basket. Had the open lane, was able to get downhill, but there's the ball control that we have been talking about. Eureka needs to limit the turnovers early on. Wilson pushing the pace against Hadley, stops her feet right side of the basket. Bounce pass under the rim, and it's Martinez and Bowen tied up. It'll be a jump ball, and Eureka gets the benefit of the call. Armstrong again. Eureka goes back to work on offense. Floater pass to Armstrong, right side, behind the back. Overhead pass. That one is taken away by Wilson. Wilson left side, gets in the perimeter. Spins around Martinez, puts it up off the glass, no good. Hadley with the board. Eureka again pushing the pace. Armstrong left side. There's the floater, not able to get any assistance from the rim. That one tipped out of the hands of Bowen. Armstrong kicks it out. Martinez top of the key, gets inside, right side of the basket, and she lost it on the way up. That's another turnover against the Red Devils. 2 possessions in a row. 7:14 left to go here in the first quarter. The way this ballgame started made it seem that MUW could potentially blow Eureka out. Subbed into the game, Conley Langford for MUW. Here's Bowen, right side of the basket. Good defense by Bowman. Martinez bounce pass to Collins. Collins lost it on the dribble, recovers right corner. Behind the perimeter, guarded very closely by Jakayla Smith, and Collins gets called for the travel. 3 straight turnovers for Eureka, and Smith, all she can do is let out a smile. She knows she's playing very great defense now. Wilson crosses half court left side. Here's Smith, left side of the basketball court, no good on the floater, and it's Bowman pulling down the basketball. Collins again pushing the pace, right wing, gets inside the arc. That pass deflected by Langford. Langford takes it away. She will jog across half court, makes the move, stops her feet, and lost it on the way up, but she gets fouled. And they will consider that a shooting foul, so Langford will get sent to the line. The second free throw opportunity for MUW. Eureka College basketball is made possible by Potter Rentals of Gilman, Illinois. Owned and operated by Ernie and Barb Folkers Potter, both Eureka College class 1965. Potter Rentals offers both residential and commercial property rentals, including vacation rentals in beautiful Prescott, Arizona. You can get more information on their website at potterrentals.com. Langford able to knock down the pair of free throws. It is a 10-2 lead, and that pass stripped away by MUW. Here's a chance for Langford from the right wing. No good from 3. Offensive board by Wilson. Langford has to get rid of it, and she gets called for a travel. So finally, Eureka able to catch somewhat of a break, and they will get the basketball back. It's Hadley with the basketball, immediately guarded very heavily. Here's Martinez pulling up from the left side. She's too strong. Offensive board from Bowman, and she lost it, but it's knocked out of bounds by MUW. So if you know from previous broadcasts, Eureka, they are missing Courtney Hart. Of course, she did not travel with the team. But Brooklyn Bowman has really started to not necessarily replace her, but take over while Hart has been gone, and Brooklyn Bowman has been doing such a great job at rebounding. If you remember, Hart for the Red Devils has been their rebounding leader. She set a program record with 25 rebounds in a single game. Here's Bowen, right side of the basket. Left side, no good. Armstrong with the rebound. Red Devils down by 8. Here's Armstrong, and she falls to the ground. Loose ball taken away by Bowen. And here come the Owls. Deep pass into the hands of Phillips. She goes for 3 from the left wing, and she knocks it down, her first triple of the afternoon. And it's an 11-point lead for MUW. Eureka just struggling to find an answer on offense. Hadley steps outside of the perimeter. Good pump fake from Martinez. Kicks it out. Bowman deep 2, perfectly centered, no good. And it's a rebound from Bowen, but the clock stops as Eureka gets called for a foul. 5:09 left to go here in the opening quarter. Well, we talked about Coach Pace, but let's take a look. As for MUW, they are led by Eric Vaughn, who is the 3rd head coach in the modern era since 2017 for women's basketball here at the W. MUW with possession. Langford will kick it out. Here's Hughes beyond the free throw line, and Langford gets fouled while going up for a shot. And again, she'll have another chance here at the free throw line. Eureka College basketball is made possible by Heartland Bank and Trust, serving 48 communities throughout Illinois and eastern Iowa, including Washington, Metamora, El Paso, Germantown Hills, Carlock, and in Eureka. Their main branch is on Main Street downtown, and their drive-up and ATM is nearby on Center Street. And find Heartland Bank and Trust anywhere at htmbank.com. So there is a quick timeout taken here for Eureka. We'll keep things here for the moment being. But the Owls, in their previous game against Blackburn, they started Mia Bowen, Jakayla Smith, Fantasia Wilson, Jessica Hughes, and Phillips. And we know that from previous games, Smith has taken over that role as a very efficient three-point shooter for the Owls. And she's been pretty quick. She's one of the fastest players on the starting 5 for MUW. And the way she's moving up and down the floor proves that point. And right now, Eureka has just had a difficult time scoring offensively because of how quick MUW is able to get into transition. But for now, just under 5 minutes left to go. MUW 13, Eureka only 2. But the Eureka men's basketball team will follow this game. So stay tuned for that, because we will be broadcasting that matchup as well. I mentioned it because I just saw them walk into the building. And they are watching from across the basketball court. Very grateful today as the athletic department for MUW placed me at the scorer's table, which doesn't usually happen. So I get a courtside view today. But both teams make their way back out onto the floor. Conley Langford at the free throw line. Her second trip to the line this afternoon knocks down the first attempt. 14 points for the Owls. Coach Pace on the sideline, in front of the Eureka bench, instructing his players. Langford goes 2 for 2. Eureka regains possession. Hadley immediately pressured, a full court press from MUW. And Coach Pace will call another quick timeout before the ball can be stripped away. So we will now take a break. Stay tuned. You are listening to EC 103.1 live from the City Blue Technologies broadcast booth.
Eureka College basketball is made possible by Potter Rentals of Gilman, Illinois. Owned and operated by Ernie and Barb Folkers Potter, both Eureka College class 1965. Potter Rentals offers both residential and commercial property rentals, including vacation rentals in beautiful Prescott, Arizona. You can get more information on their website at potterrentals.com.
MUW on top 15-2 as we return for coverage for this afternoon's ball game between the Eureka Red Devils and MUW. We are in Columbus, Mississippi. Just under 5 minutes left to go in the opening quarter. Both teams make their way back onto the floor. It'll be Raylan Brown to inbound to Armstrong. Brown getting her first couple of minutes in the game. Hadley crosses half court, is immediately met by two Owls defenders. Here's Collins from the left side, and she knocks it down. Only Eureka's second bucket of the ball game. MUW immediately on the attack. Langford, crossover move in the paint. Left side of the basket, no good off the glass. And Martinez able to pull down the rebound. She will cross half court, in trouble, double teamed. It's taken away by Kiara Hughes at the basket, and good from the right side. Kiara Hughes, the junior forward out of Mississippi. Armstrong again in trouble, and Coach Pace forced to take Eureka's third timeout in roughly the last few minutes or so. 17-4, MUW leads it. Stay tuned, we will be back right here on EC 103.1 live from the City Blue Technologies broadcast booth.
Eureka College basketball is made possible by Metamora Kirby Foods. They are 100% employee-owned, with a deli, produce section, and meat department with its own in-house butcher. Metamora Kirby Foods is open from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m., 7 days a week. They are located on West Mount Vernon Street in Metamora. Get more information at kirbyfoods.com.
A very good start for MUW in the opening quarter. They are up 17-4 with just over 4 minutes left to go. And this is a must-win game for the Owls. Let's take a look at the SLIAC standings. Right now, MUW currently sitting in the 8th spot, 3-8 in conference play. Like I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, they are not yet eliminated from the SLIAC tournament. You have to be one of the top 6 teams in the conference to consider to be a successful team, or at least make the tournament. Red Devils with the basketball. Collins left side. Her shot is blocked, and MUW with another takeaway. Bowen on the right side of the floor. Euro step up with the right hand, no good, and it's Armstrong pulling down the ball. Armstrong, crossover move, right side of the basket, underneath the rim, and she gets the help with the basketball rim. Eureka up to 6 points in the ball game. Jessica Hughes subbed in for the Owls. Bowen, top of the key. She's going to go up for a three, and she knocks it down. Mia Bowen, that is not something we expect to see from her. Mia Bowen is known for a strong interior presence, but that isn't to take away from the fact that she can knock down those shots. It is a 20-6 ball game. Owls on top. The pass from Hadley deflected by Wilson. Wilson over to Smith, left side of the basket, and a good shot for the Owls. 22 points for MUW. Eureka looks tired already, and it's the opening quarter. We know their best offensive performance usually comes in quarter number 2. Hadley, left corner. Now it's positioned on the top of the key. Kicked it out to Armstrong beyond the right wing. Armstrong makes a move outside. Collins from the left side, a three, no good. Smith with the rebound, and she's got a lot of open space up ahead, but she stops her feet, kicks it over to Hughes. Hughes from the right wing, no good for three. And Bowen able to just strip that one out of the hands of Hadley. Hughes, pump fake at the basket, and she gets fouled. She'll have a trip for 2 at the free throw line. Eureka College basketball is made possible by Randy Begole, a State Farm agent in Peoria. Randy graduated from Eureka College in 1994. He played basketball and tennis and was also a member of the Teak fraternity. Randy has been serving State Farm customers since 2001. His office is located at the corner of Knoxville and Forest Hill in Peoria. You can also reach him at 309-322-8150 or at randybegole.com. That's Randy, Begole.com. So Jessica Hughes goes 1 for 2 at the free throw line. Eureka already facing another full court press. Brown beyond the left wing kicks it out to Martinez. Here's Hadley slightly to the right. Continues to drift to her right side, dribbling the basketball. She is guarded by Hughes. Now Hadley makes a move over to Brown. Brown for 3 off the front of the rim, no good. And Bowen picks up a rebound. Phillips has to punch it out for three, and she knocks it down. She hesitated on the shot. It looked like she wanted to pass the ball, and she realized she had a lot of spacing up ahead. One of the deficits for Eureka. They need to eliminate the spacing. Martinez trying to do the same. That's way off the mark. Hughes pulls down the board. Coach Pace immediately instructing Eureka to get back in transition. Langford, overhead pass, Bowen against Brown. Bowen just takes a nice jump shot, no good. Hadley with the basketball. She's able to squeeze through several defenders, kicks it out to Armstrong at the right side of the basket, and she draws the contact. Armstrong will get sent to the free throw line. So let's talk about MUW some more and their conference positioning. For MUW to get into that sixth and final spot, they have to win out. That means they have to win every single game for the rest of the season. With that in mind, they would finish at 6 conference wins and 8 conference losses. But from there, they are still going to need some assistance. They will need Greenville and Blackburn to drop just enough games to bring them back in the running. If Greenville and Blackburn each take a couple of more losses, that opens up the door for MUW to jump up in the standings, especially if some of the tiebreakers fall the Owls' way. Spalding in 5th place. They are out of reach, so the race would be strictly for that number 6 seed for MUW. So at the end of the day, the math is pretty simple. MUW would have to win every game, but they still need a little help around the league. So the margin is thin, but it's not impossible. MUW basketball. This one kicked out. Phillips, left corner for 3, off the front of the rim. Brown pulls down the basketball. She's in trouble, has to kick it out to Hadley, who crosses half court, gets downhill. Martinez, left side of the basket. She's too strong, too much momentum. Phillips on the other end, beyond the left wing. Here's an attempt for 3, short. And again, Brown, 2 consecutive boards. She's in trouble, guarded by Langford. Now Hadley, Eureka needs to cross half court. They do. Hadley on the left wing. Here's a deep 2 from the left side, no good. And Hadley might have been stepped on as she hops on 1 foot, and now she takes a knee to the ground. There's a whistle, so the clock will stop with just under 30 seconds left to go. MUW 26, Eureka 7. Hadley looks like she's in trouble. And that's not a good sign. Eureka has such a limited roster size that it's really hard to sub players in and out. Hadley will get helped up to her feet, and she will need to be helped off the floor. And that is a huge loss for Eureka. If you look back earlier in the season in January when MUW traveled to Eureka, Illinois, Eureka did not have Layla Hadley in that matchup. And maybe she could have been a very big piece to this roster in this ball game. But it's Newton at the free throw line as she will take the spot for Hadley. Newton unsuccessful on the first attempt. Again, 26-7 is the score. MUW on top, just under 30 seconds. Newton goes 0 for 2. Brown gets the board. Here's Collins, left wing. Goes to work, kicks it out to Brown. Brown finds Martinez at the top of the key. Martinez loses it while getting downhill. Hughes pulls down the basketball, or recovers. Phillips, 10 seconds on the clock. Martinez falls to the ground through some contact. Phillips, top of the key. 5 on the game clock. Bowen thought about a triple, gets it back to Phillips. Phillips, 1 on the clock, and the first quarter will come to an end. I don't think MUW understood how much time was on the clock. So through 1, MUW leads it 26-7. Eureka facing way too many struggles early on. Of course, offensive struggles, but also a slight injury of Layla Hadley. But that's all we have for you in the opening quarter. Stay tuned for upcoming second quarter coverage right here on EC 103.1, live from the City Blue Technologies broadcast booth.
Eureka College basketball is made possible by Randy Begole, a State Farm agent in Peoria. Randy graduated from Eureka College in 1994. He played basketball and tennis and was also a member of the TKE fraternity. Randy has been serving State Farm customers since 2001. His office is located at the corner of Knoxville in Forest Hill and Peoria. You can reach him at 309-322-8150 or at randybegold.com. That's Randy, BEGOLE.com.
Jakayla Smith leading the way for the Owls. She's up to 6 points through just one quarter. We welcome you into the City Blue Technologies broadcast booth. Matthew Swan on the call. As always, you're listening to EC 103.1. This afternoon, it's coverage between the Eureka Red Devils and the Mississippi University for women. They lead it 26-7 through one quarter. And we were talking before the break about some of Eureka's struggles. Number one, they are not producing a lot of offense. That's a given. But number two, at the end of the first quarter, the junior guard and transfer from Wittenberg University, Layla Hadley, was stepped on. Specifically, it was that right foot on offense, and it sent her to the free throw line. Kenna Newton obviously took her place. Hadley had to come out of the game, and she is still being worked on right now. I think a lot of fans, a lot of viewers and listeners don't understand how much emotion goes into this ball game. And Eureka has been facing a lot of obstacles all season long. So there's definitely a rising tide of emotional aspect being displayed in this ball game. It's MUW basketball to get things started, and Bowen with an early bucket from the right side of the basket. Armstrong crosses half court for Eureka, using just the right hand to dribble. She kicks it out. Collins standing at the top of the key. Overhead pass. Martinez from the left side. Goes against Langford. Stops her feet. Kicks it out. Here's a three for Collins. No good. It rattled in and out. Bowen with the rebound. Bowen pushing the pace against Newton. Newton able to get her hand in there and strip it out of bounds, but it'll stick with the Owls. So the five on the floor for Eureka right now is Brown, Collins, Martinez, Armstrong, and Newton. The five on the floor for MUW: Hughes, Phillips, Kiera Hughes, Langford, and Fantasia Wilson. Here's Kiera Hughes in front of the free throw line, spins around and puts it over her defender, Kayla Collins, for the bucket. 30 points for the Owls. Good spin move by Collins, able to create some space. She gets forward, sidestep, puts it up off the glass, unsuccessful, and it's Phillips with the board. Phillips on the other end of the floor. Slows things down, goes to work against Collins. She tried to find Hughes underneath the basket, and Armstrong knocks it out of bounds, so clock will stop at 8:47. Layla Hadley continuing to get checked on and getting her foot wrapped. I have a difficult time believing she will come back in this ball game. Wilson kicks it out. Hughes gets it stripped, and Armstrong recovers. Red Devils have a chance to execute. Armstrong pushing the pace against Hughes. Stops her feet, kicks it out. Collins beyond the free throw line, and she gets fouled on the shot attempt. So she will get sent to the line for two. Eureka College basketball is made possible by Metamora Kirby Foods. They are 100% employee-owned with a deli, produce section, and meat department with its own in-house butcher. Metamora Kirby Foods is open from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. 7 days a week. They are located on West Mount Vernon Street in Metamora. Get more information at kirbyfoods.com. Kayla Collins at the free throw line for the Red Devils, the transfer out of Schreiner University. She is in her first season with the Red Devils. She will go 2 for 2 at the free throw line. MUW basketball, Kiera Hughes with the ball. Langford finds Jessica Hughes beyond the right perimeter. And that pass from Hughes goes directly to the Eureka bench out of bounds. A turnover against the Owls. Not a lot of turnovers displayed by MUW so far. They've been doing a very good job at controlling the basketball. Armstrong behind the back to Collins. Collins makes a move. She's met by Jessica Hughes. Good screen from Brown. Collins, right wing. Martinez, pump fake. Brown over to Armstrong in the left corner. 10 on the shot clock for Eureka. Armstrong makes a move behind the back. Passes to Collins. Collins from the top of the key, no good on an attempt for three, and Langford will let that one roll out of bounds. 7:45 left to go in the first half. Jessica Hughes will come out of the ball game. Mia Bowen subs back in for the Owls, and it looks like Brooklyn Bowman will come in for Eureka, which means Raylan Brown will get some resting time. 30-9, MUW on top, just under 7:45 left to go in the second quarter. Here comes Wilson across half court. She stands at the top of the key, guarded by Martinez. Bowen now beyond the perimeter, kicks it out to the left side. Langford makes a move against Newton. Here's an attempt for three. That one off the back of the rim, no good. Clock will stop at 7:24. Bowen recovers, good find, up at the brim, no good as Wilson had it stripped out of bounds, and I believe they're gonna say that that was all contact on the basketball, no foul from Eureka. Five on the floor for MUW right now. Charity Hinton, Jacayla Smith, Mia Bowen, Fantasia Wilson, and Conley Langford. Here's a three, no good from Armstrong beyond the right wing. And Collins got her hands in there. It'll be a jump ball. MUW will recover. For Eureka, the five on the floor, Kenna Newton, Brooklyn Bowman, Kayla Collins, Abigail Martinez, and Miracle Armstrong. Oh, and after some discussion between the referees, they're going to say Eureka basketball. So the Red Devils catch yet another break. 7:05 on the clock. MUW 30 points, Eureka 9. Again, you are listening to EC 103.1 live from the City Blue Technologies broadcast booth. Matthew Swan on the call. It'll be Martinez to inbound for the Red Devils, who are decked out in the maroon. Deep pass to Bowman beyond the right perimeter. Kicks it out to Armstrong, top of the key. Now Collins left side. Armstrong starts to dribble. Drifts over to her right. Collins with possession, makes a move against Hinton, and she's going to get fouled. Coach Pace happy about that. One of the things that Coach Pace has talked about recently is that he wants Eureka to limit their three-point shooting. The Red Devils, as has already been established, they have a lot of good three-point shooters, such as Raylan Brown, Miracle Armstrong. He wants to see more physicality on the floor. He wants to see his players start to attack more often. And that's why we haven't seen a lot of threes from Eureka early on. Bowman gets fouled, so she now gets sent to the line, knocks down the first attempt. Coach Pace talking to both Miracle Armstrong and Abigail Martinez on the sideline. Well, Bowman shoots from the free throw line, and she will go 2 for 2. It is a 30-11 ball game. Eureka trails. Just under 7 to go. Smith under the basket, no good. Gets her own offensive board, and she gets fouled. 6:38 left to play. That will be a shooting foul against Smith. Jacayla Smith, who has really set the stage here in her freshman season. She is a two-sport athlete as she plans to compete in track and field here at MUW as well in the spring. Layla Hadley was getting asked if she would be okay to come back into this ball game, and she shook her head no. So Raylan Brown comes into the game for Eureka. Coach Pace talking to Hadley right now on the Eureka bench, and Smith at the free throw line for the Owls knocks down attempt number 1. Jacayla Smith coming out of New Hope High School, where she played for varsity 6 different seasons. Smith goes 2 for 2 at the line. Armstrong inbounds to Martinez. Bounce pass back to Armstrong. Armstrong guarded by several different Owls defenders. Collins in trouble, stops her feet, goes up for 2 and knocks it down. Great job by Kayla Collins to stop her feet and really reset for a moment before forcing a terrible decision. Here's Wilson on the attack, outmatches Martinez, and she gets fouled as well. Looked like Wilson tried to attack the right side of the basket, and just like many players on this MUW team, they tend to get a little shaky when heavily guarded. They cannot handle the defensive pressure. So Wilson wasn't able to knock down the bucket. .6:14 left to go. Here's Wilson for her second attempt. No good. Brown with the rebound. 32-13 is the score. 6:10 left to play in quarter number 2. Armstrong tried to find Collins, not able to do so. That pass goes out of bounds on the left side. Clock will stop at 6:07. It'll be another turnover against the Red Devils. Eureka in this ball game, 11 turnovers. They have to cut those down. That's been one of the points of emphasis discussed by Coach Pace. MUW basketball. Bowen on the right side, hands it off to Wilson. Now Bowen in the right corner. Gets inside the paint. Brown able to get a hand on it. Bowen nearly traveled, but somehow able to use all 6'2" of her height to really stretch and knock down the bucket. Armstrong again pushes the pace, and that'll be a turnover. That was a double dribble against Armstrong. Can't do that. You have to slow things down. Eureka has been moving way too quickly in the early stages of this one. Wilson guarded by Armstrong beyond the left perimeter. Bounce pass to Langford, who stands top of the key. Begins to dribble. Crossover move against Newton. Right side of the basket. Off the glass. No good, but she does get fouled. And Martinez throws her hands up in the air, almost as if she was saying, there's no way that I fouled Wilson. Or excuse me, Langford. Oh, and it does look like, so Abigail Martinez will be subbed out. And Layla Hadley comes back into the game for Eureka. So Langford knocks down that first attempt. Coach Pace just walked over to the scorer's table asking about a replay. He wanted to know if MUW had a replay machine, because I guess the rule is that you can review a play if there is a replay machine available, but MUW does not have one of those. Hadley finds Armstrong. Eureka gonna have to cross half court here. Armstrong does so. Bounce pass over to Hadley. Great defense by MUW. It's Jakayla Smith taking it away. Left side of the basket, off the glass, and good. Way to use the backboard for assistance for Smith. She is having a very successful night right now. She's up to 10 points. That pass from Armstrong deflected. MUW with another takeaway, and this time the clock stops as Wilson gets called for the travel. 38-13 is the score, just under 5 minutes left to go in the second quarter. Newton with the basketball over to Brown, finds Collins on the left side. Hadley starts to dribble beyond the left wing. She's guarded by Smith. Hadley left and right. Here's Brown, a deep two, and Raylan Brown able to knock that bucket down. Brown needs to get fired up here. When Brown starts to connect, she gets really hot, and the team starts to revolve around her and play more efficiently. Bowen able to keep this one in place. Smith well beyond the top of the key, goes against Collins, takes her 2 steps off the glass on the other hand, no good. Armstrong on the attack, finds Brown in the paint. Brown kicks it out, Collins for 2 off the side of the backboard, but she gets fouled on the attempt. 4:07 left to play. MUW 38 points, Eureka 15. So Kayla Collins will get sent to the free throw line. As mentioned earlier in the broadcast, Eureka in that development type of season, and we have seen the way the players have grown. And we'll talk about that growth and what Coach Pace plans to do after this season. Right after this break, stay tuned. You're listening to EC 103.1 live from the City Blue Technologies broadcast booth.
Eureka College basketball is made possible by City Blue Technologies of Peoria, an Epson distributor serving Central Illinois. City Blue offers Epson Precision Core heat-free printing as an alternative to laser printers. City Blue was founded in 1968 and serves more than 5,000 active customers. Learn more about sustainable printing solutions from City Blue Technologies at citybluetechnologies.com.
We welcome you into the City Blue Technologies broadcast booth for today's coverage between the Eureka Red Devils and the MUW Owls. We are just over 4 minutes left in this second quarter. The Owls lead it 38-15. We mentioned we would talk about what Coach Pace plans to do with this team. And again, Eureka in a development type of season, a complete new head coach, a brand new starting five. Coach Pace happens to be one of the youngest coaches in the entire region, and he's typically known for coaching a fast-paced environment, a very strong offensive unit. He does have a variety of recruiting connections in the Midwest, and he plans to use some of those connections to his benefit as we get ready for the remainder of the season and start to head into the offseason. And he talked about this is going to be a completely different program by this time next season, and he even made the statement that Eureka could potentially win the SLIAC. So a big fulfillment that he is trying to reach. But for now, we return to the game. MUW with the basketball, and Kiara Hughes was inside the paint on the right side of the basket, and she got called for a travel. So MUW picks up turnover number 7. Eureka basketball. Hadley, right side, crosses half court. Gets inside the perimeter. That pass taken away by Jessica Hughes, who hovers the basketball. Smith, left side of the court. Nearly lost it, able to recover. Finds Wilson beyond the perimeter. Wilson between the legs. Hughes from the right wing kicks it back to Wilson. Goes against Collins. Wilson, right side of the basket, no good. She was too strong. And it's Hadley taking it away. Hadley from the free throw line, nearly traveled, kicks it out to Newton. Good pump fake, and she's going to get called for the travel and the turnover. Conley Langford will get subbed in here as Wilson comes out. So the the 5 on the floor right now for MUW. Jessica Hughes, Conley Langford, Kiara Hughes, Jacayla Smith as well. Just over 3 minutes left to go. Here's Kiara Hughes, no good on the right side of the basket. She gets fouled though, and will get sent to the line. And we are seeing for MUW as well, number 23, Asia Glass. Forgot to mention her nearly for a second. Asia Glass, a junior transfer out of East Mississippi Community College. But for now, it's Kiara Hughes at the free throw line. 3:01 left to go in quarter number 2. Hughes no good on the first attempt. Second chance, no good as well. That one tipped by Smith, able to get the putback and the bucket. Jacayla Smith, great positioning, and she made the right read on that play. Here's Collins, right side, good screen from Newton, who takes a hard hit against Kiara Hughes, and Eureka turns the ball. Oh no, they're going to say it was tipped out of bounds by Langford. So the Red Devils keep possession here. Collins will inbound, looking for the overhead pass. Finds Hadley way on the opposite side of the court. Hadley left side, finds Brown inside the perimeter. Brown kicks it out to Newton. Newton on the move. Brown, deep 2, once again off the glass, no good, and it's Langford pulling down the basketball. Langford crossover move against Newton. She stands top of the key, goes up for a triple, and good. Conley Langford connects from behind the arc. 43 points for the Owls in the late stages of quarter number 2. Here comes Armstrong on the other end of the floor at the basket, and the foul. She'll have a chance to make it a 3-point play. Miracle Armstrong, who began the season with Eureka, then took some time off for personal reasons, but she is back for Eureka, and since returning, she has been a very strong suit for this Red Devils team. This is her second year of athletics for the Red Devils. Not able to connect on the free throw line attempt. Eureka with the offensive board, and they immediately get fouled. So Newton now gets sent to the free throw line as she was in progress of shooting the basketball. Newton good for the first attempt, the freshman guard out of Illinois. Newton on the year averaging just over 1 point per game. This is her 15th game of the season. And she knocks down the second attempt. 43-21 the score, 2:12 left to play in quarter number 2. Here comes Langford, goes from the right side of the court to the center, guarded heavily by Armstrong. Langford continuing to dribble, this time kicks it out. Kiera Hughes gets inside the paint, kicks it out. Here's a triple, no good from Asia Glass. Newton with the rebound, and she gets tied up. There's a whistle. It'll stick with the Red Devils, I believe. They're going to say Eureka basketball. And that was the team's 5th foul in the quarter for MUW. So that will automatically send Eureka to the free throw line. Again, Kenna Newton shooting 40% from the free throw line this season. Newton sets, fires, no good on the first attempt. As a team, Eureka hasn't been the best at shooting from the free throw line this season, 54.6%. Newton goes 0 for 2. Langford with the rebound. MUW, a minute 45 left to go. Langford on the attack against Brown, and she loses the basketball while getting downhill. That is Eureka's 15th foul of the quarter. So now Langford will get sent to the line. This is the type of gameplay we see typically in the fourth quarter, but both teams becoming more aggressive as we get closer to halftime. Again, you're listening to EC 103.1 live from the City Blue Technologies broadcast booth. Matthew Swan on the call. Langford no good on the second attempt. Nice offensive rebound from Smith, and she was not guarded from the left side of the basket. An easy 2 points for the Owls. Abigail Martinez will get set to come into this ball game. Newton from the left side kicks it out. Brown right side for 3 and good. Raylan Brown with some help from the basketball rim. That is her first triple of the afternoon. Hopefully that'll spark something for this Eureka offense. Langford crossover move beyond the left wing. Goes against Armstrong. Circles around the perimeter. Here's a 3 from Glass. No good. Armstrong with the rebound. And a bounce pass to the right side over to Collins. Collins pushes the pace. Good Euro step. Underhand with the right. No good. Rebound taken away by Kiera Hughes. Deep pass to Smith. That pass from Smith. She tried to find Jessica Hughes, but the ball was kicked by Brown. And it'll stick with the Owls. Raylan Brown will come out of the game. Abigail Martinez comes in. The 5 on the floor right now for MUW. Asia Glass, Jakayla Smith, Jessica Hughes, Kiera Hughes, and Conley Langford. For Eureka, Newton, Armstrong, Collins, Hadley, and Brown. Collins, right side of the basket, and good. Able to score over Asia Glass for the bucket. 35 seconds to go in the second quarter. Glass on the move, kicks it out. Jessica Hughes from the right side. That one spinning in and out. No good from 3. And Newton ended up on the ground along with Conley Langford. Langford looks a little shaken up there. It'll stay with MUW as that one rolled out of bounds. 27.6 seconds left to go. Bounce pass to Kiera Hughes. Hughes beyond the left side. Steps back, tries to reset here. Hughes between the legs, makes a move against Newton. Right side of the basket, at the glass and good. Kiara Hughes gets fired up. 7 seconds left to go. Hadley pushes the pace, bounce pass, and Collins not able to hold on. It goes out of bounds. MUW will get it back with 4.1 seconds left to go. It'll be Kiara Hughes to inbound, bounce pass to Langford. 2 on the clock. Langford from half court, puts up the 3. Are they going to count it? It doesn't matter. It's off the mark. And the first half comes to an end. MUW with a very comfortable lead, 48-25. And right now for the Owls, they have been led heavily by Jakayla Smith. And they will need her to stay on her A game if they want to come out with the win. Again, MUW in a very tight spot right now in terms of qualifying for the conference tournament. But that's all we have for you in quarter number 2. Stay tuned for quarter number 3 coming up right here on EC 103.1, live from the City Blue Technologies broadcast booth.
Eureka College basketball is made possible by Heartland Bank and Trust, serving 48 communities throughout Illinois and eastern Iowa, including Washington, Metamora, El Paso, Germantown Hills, Carlock, and in Eureka. Their main branch is on Main Street downtown, and their drive-up and ATM is nearby on Center Street. And find Heartland Bank and Trust anywhere at htmbank.com.
Eureka College basketball is made possible by Potter Rentals of Gilman, Illinois. Owned and operated by Ernie and Barb Folkers-Potter, both Eureka College class 1965. Potter Rentals offers both residential and commercial property rentals, including vacation rentals in beautiful Prescott, Arizona. You can get more information on their website at potterrentals.com.
Eureka College basketball is made possible by Metamora Kirby Foods. They are 100% employee-owned, with a deli, produce section, and meat department with its own in-house butcher. Metamora Kirby Foods is open from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m., 7 days a week. They are located on West Mount Vernon Street in Metamora. Get more information at kirbyfoods.com.
The Best of Our Knowledge explores topics on learning, education, and research. Coming up, arsenic is a naturally occurring toxin with a big reputation. But scientists say arsenic-contaminated waste could have a potential public benefit, including in advanced manufacturing. I'm Lucas Willard, host of The Best of Our Knowledge. This is The Best of Our Knowledge. I'm Lucas Willard. Arsenic, the notorious poison of kings and common contaminant, can cause serious health problems. But researchers now say the naturally occurring arsenic could have use in advanced manufacturing, like in the production of high-tech semiconductors. Our guest today is Kees van Gunukten, a senior researcher at the Geological Survey of Denmark and Greenland. Kees is the lead author of a recent study that explores a potential societal value of arsenic. With the assistance of the Canadian Light Source at the University of Saskatchewan, Kees's team found a way to transform arsenic waste into a form that has real economic opportunity. I spoke with him to learn more.
Arsenic is a naturally occurring element. that occurs just naturally in the Earth's crust, and where it has really caused a human catastrophe is in areas that rely on groundwater. And that's because arsenic-bearing minerals can make up the groundwater aquifer. And if you have groundwater flowing through an aquifer that has these arsenic-bearing minerals, a little bit of arsenic can leach into the groundwater. The kind of the nefarious thing about arsenic is that it's colorless, it's tasteless, it's odorless. But if you drink groundwater that has even a small concentration of arsenic, if you drink groundwater with that small concentration of arsenic for decades, you end up with cancer. Arsenic poisoning from chronic exposure to arsenic in drinking water, that's something that has affected millions of people's lives, where it tends to have the biggest health impact is in rural areas of Northeast India and Bangladesh. And that's because the naturally occurring arsenic levels in groundwater are so high, just based on parent geology. And you have high population density, and you have very little infrastructure for removing arsenic from groundwater, so arsenic treatment. Now, in general, the way that I think about, or the way that I often talk about arsenic contamination is that it's a global problem. Naturally occurring arsenic is found all over the world. It's just a function of parent geology. And so there's been some very, I'd say, notorious maps of arsenic contamination in groundwaters across the world, and you see hotspots in every inhabited continent. But in terms of the human health toll, arsenic really impacts areas that have poor access to infrastructure and resources the most. And that's because in areas where I grew up in California, in the parts of the Central Valley of California, they have naturally occurring arsenic, but there's also centralized drinking water treatment. And so it turns out that arsenic isn't necessarily so difficult to remove from groundwater, so you can produce arsenic safe drinking water. But, and this kind of leads into our recent work, when you remove arsenic from groundwater, you're not converting it into something that's non-toxic. It's still a carcinogen, but you're taking it out of the water and you're concentrating it into a solid form. And now you have this arsenic-rich kind of drinking water treatment waste, and nobody knows what to do with that. And I think it's a really interesting kind of I'd say in the last, 20, 30 years, the environmental science and engineering community has really focused in on arsenic. But when we talk about treatment, it's pretty well understood now how to remove arsenic from groundwater. But very few people have continued to think about what happens after arsenic is removed. And I can talk a lot about what's done currently with this waste, but maybe I'll stop there.
Yeah, let's take a step back for a second. So
Sure.
when arsenic is removed from groundwater, say every day at a regular water treatment plant where you and I would get our tap water, it's removed and it's concentrated into a substance, concentrated arsenic. And what is currently done with it? If nobody wants to touch it, is it contained somewhere? Is it put into landfills? What is the problem that this cancer-causing compound can actually, what is the problem with the substance?
Yeah, I wish I could show you some of the pictures I have. So the short answer to that question is it depends on where you are in the world, because it typically depends on what the local regulatory guidance is. So if you're in an area, I'll give you an example. So I live in Copenhagen now. In Denmark, there's several things that are done with this waste. I'd say the best case scenario is you put it into a landfill. And of course, that's not a great idea, but you essentially dig a hole, you put the waste in there, and then you kind of hope that it doesn't make it back into the environment. There's plenty of things that are wrong with landfills, but that's the best case scenario. There are many other less controlled disposal practices where you can put it into a disposal pond. You can put it directly into the sewer so that it becomes like a wastewater treatment problem. It's stockpiled, and worst case scenario, you take this concentrated arsenic-rich waste and you just kind of do open disposal, we call it. You discharge it to surface waters and soils, and that open disposal route is really the worst for human health and the environment, but it doesn't cost anything. And so kind of anecdotally, that's the most practiced method in areas that don't have resources and infrastructure or space for landfills. So I mentioned earlier that, in terms of like the global health toll, the parts of Northeast India and Bangladesh have been hit hardest by naturally occurring arsenic, in part because there's very little resources there. But it's kind of this irony where these are the same communities that need treatment the most, but there's also very little infrastructure for dealing with the waste there. And so that's where you see in these rural areas, that's where you see these open disposal practices that really need to stop. And that's just putting this concentrated arsenic-rich waste into soils adjacent to the village. You might be growing crops in those same soils. Arsenic makes it into the plants, etc. So there's a lot of real potential risk that's involved with dealing with this waste in the wrong way.
So you and your team have set out to find a way to make this arsenic waste actually usable. So it's not just a contaminant that gets people sick.
Yeah.
What's involved in actually turning a concentrated arsenic waste product into something that can be useful in manufacturing or something else?
Yeah. So it's a great question, Lucas. I think we have to kind of take a step back first, though, because since I was a PhD student, I've been working on arsenic treatment, and it didn't matter. Every scientific conference, every time I was talking to the general public about what I do, the question of what do you do with the waste came up every single time. And at that point, I wasn't the only one working on arsenic treatment, but the community still really doesn't have a good idea about what to do with this waste. So I've been thinking about it for a really long time, but something like very, I guess, fortuitous for me, because I'm in this kind of research field, has happened with arsenic. And it's that arsenic, the societal value of arsenic is changing.
Eureka College basketball is made possible by Randy Begole, a State Farm agent in Peoria. Randy graduated from Eureka College in 1994. He played basketball and tennis and was also a member of the TKE fraternity. Randy has been serving State Farm customers since 2001. His office is located at the corner of Knoxville and Forest Hill in Peoria. You can reach him at 309-322-8150 or at randybegole.com. That's Randy, BEGOLE.com.
Eureka College basketball is made possible by City Blue Technologies of Peoria, an Epson distributor serving Central Illinois. City Blue offers Epson precision core heat-free printing as an alternative to laser printers. City Blue was founded in 1968 and serves more than 5,000 active customers. Learn more about sustainable printing solutions from City Blue Technologies at citybluetechnologies.com.
Eureka College basketball is made possible by Heartland Bank and Trust, serving 48 communities throughout Illinois and eastern Iowa, including Washington, Metamora, El Paso, Germantown Hills, Carlock, and in Eureka. Their main branch is on Main Street downtown, and their drive-up and ATM is nearby on Center Street. And find Heartland Bank and Trust anywhere at htmbank.com.
We get ready for upcoming quarter number 3 right here from Columbus, Mississippi. We welcome you into the City Blue Technologies broadcast booth. Matthew Swan on the call. Eureka down 48-25 against MUW in the early stages of this ball game. I had some discussion with Coach Pace during the break, and one of the things he told me He's frustrated, of course, but the reason behind that is because his team right now is not executing the way they talked about playing this game. They're not performing the way they described, and everything is falling short right now for Eureka. This should have been a game where they were competitive, but for some reason, MUW seems like they came in this ballgame with more energy than they usually have been, and they just haven't slowed down, constantly pushing the pace up and down the floor, getting into transition, all the things you would like to see from a successful basketball team. We have about a minute to go until we resume gameplay here in quarter number 3, but Eureka out on the floor. Again, the Red Devils decked out in maroon. It's Miracle Armstrong, Kayla Collins, Layla Hadley, Abigail Martinez, and Brooklyn Bowman on the floor for the Red Devils. MUW still in their huddle in front of their bench. Shout out to the MUW athletic staff for hooking me up with some free nachos. Very much appreciated. As mentioned before we took a break, it has been Jakayla Smith for the Owls leading the way. 14 points. She's 4 for 4 from the free throw line and 5 for 9 from the field. That is very impressive. It looks like MUW will start to make their way back out onto the floor. MUW in the white and blue uniforms. Again, for those unaware, the average field goal percentage for a Division III women's basketball player in a single game averages around 37 to 40%. So it's Mia Bowen immediately back to work, knocking down the first bucket of quarter number 3. Coach Pace came over and was arguing, how does MUW get the ball if they won the tip? And he has a point. Collins, left side of the basket, no good from inside the paint. Mia Bowen pulling down the rebound. Bowen, bounce pass, taken away by Martinez, right underneath the basket. Great read by Abigail Martinez. Here's Hadley from the left side, beyond the perimeter, dribbling with the right hand. She will reset here. She's met by Wilson. Good screen from Bowman. This one kicked out. Martinez, good pump fake. Left side of the basketball court. Now Bowman, top of the key. Over to Collins from beyond the right wing. 8 on the shot clock. Collins, great communication. Bowman kicks it out. Here's a 3 from Hadley. That was left way short. Martinez with the offensive board. And that is a shot clock violation against Eureka. 8:59 on the clock here in quarter number 3. Brooklyn Bowman will come out of the game. Raylan Brown substituting back in for the Red Devils. MUW 50, Eureka 25. MUW starting to slow things down, at least for right now. Across half court, it's Wilson on the Owls logo. Picks up the basketball. Bounce pass to Bowen, drifting over to the right side. Great defense by Brown. Bowen in the paint, up with the left hand, the bucket, and the foul for Mia Bowen. The tallest player on the Owls, standing at 6'2". Mia Bowen will have a chance to make it a three-point play at the free throw line. Bowen, who through film, we are aware that she is the team's rooted interior presence. She happens to be the team's rebounding unit. She does end up making it a three-point play. Here comes Hadley for the Red Devils. That pass taken away by Wilson. Wilson left side, shifting to her right side of the rim. And that pass stolen by Miracle Armstrong. Wilson a little upset. Good pass, Hadley in the paint. Nice no-look pass, and finds Armstrong with the bucket from the right side. Very nice off the glass. That's how you execute, and that's what Eureka needed to do in the earlier half. Phillips stands top of the key. Again, MUW slowing things down. Langford beyond the right wing, gets inside the perimeter, stops her feet, picks up the dribble. Bowen back to Langford. Langford will go for 3 from the right side, left it short, and Armstrong takes away the rebound. Great defensive stops by Eureka, trying to get 2 successful offensive possessions in a row. Armstrong passes it off of the foot of Wilson. MUW takes it away. Wilson, no look pass, good find. Langford, right side of the basket, no good. And Hadley takes the ball away. Deep pass, Brown, left side of the basket, off the glass, and good. Nice possessions offensively for Eureka. 53-29 the score. Wilson across half court slows things down. MUW might have worn themselves out in that first half, but can't speak too soon. Jacayla Smith able to get around Collins for the bucket. And just like that, Smith up to 16 points. Martinez tries for three. That's off the mark from the right side of the rim, and it's Smith with the rebound. She'll start to speed things up here. Same spot from the right side, no good in the paint, and it's tipped out of bounds. It'll go in favor of Eureka. Great job by Eureka. Already not even a full 4 minutes into this third quarter, and the Red Devils have been showing an improvement in both offense and defense. Another factor mentioned by Coach Pace, you need to play both sides of the ball, and Eureka has, for the most part, only been playing one throughout the entire season. There's a miss from Martinez. Wilson open, look, nobody's there, and she scores from the left side of the basket inside the paint. Red Devils struggling. That pass able to get to Hadley. Hadley behind the back in the perimeter finds Brown. Brown tried to go over Bowen. No good. She argued that's a foul. No whistle on the floor. Phillips flips it, and it's tipped out of bounds by Martinez. Kenna Newton will come in for Raylan Brown, who's still upset about the previous play. .6:15 left to go. MUW 57, Eureka 29. Bowen will inbound, finds Langford. Langford over Newton. No good. There is the offensive board, and another miss. Martinez tips it to Hadley. Hadley on the attack. Good find. Collins from inside the perimeter. Left side of the court through two defenders. Strong pass. Armstrong for three from the right side. Short, and Langford with the rebound. MUW jogs up the floor. Langford finds Phillips. Phillips with an open three off the mark. Tipped in. There's Collins to get the basketball. Martinez is open. Martinez, nobody ahead. Left hand, and good. Abigail Martinez with the bucket. Coach Pace directing his players to step up, and that is another factor that Eureka needed coming into this ballgame. Limit the separation between your opponent. No good on the shot from Langford. Collins with the ball inside the perimeter. Good find to Hadley. Hadley will spin out. Looked like maybe she had a good look. Here's Armstrong for three. No good. It was on target off the back of the rim. That ball is tipped out of bounds, and it'll go to MUW. 5:04 left to play. MUW leads at 57-32. So again, it's MUW basketball. Wilson will inbound. As always, you're listening to EC 103.1 live from the City Blue Technologies broadcast booth. As expected, Eureka's best quarter up to this point has been in that second quarter. They put up 18 points. Owls basketball. Smith lost it as she tried to transition. Newton finds Armstrong. Armstrong right side of the basket. Underhand with the right, and good. Eureka starting to grab some of that momentum and pull it back into their own territory. Kiara Hughes, right wing, starts to dribble. Lob pass to Phillips. It's over the head, and they're going to say it's going to stick with MUW. So the Owls will call a timeout here. 4:29 left to go. Owls lead at 57-33. We're going to take a break. Stay tuned. You are listening to EC 103.1 live from the City Blue Technologies broadcast booth.
Eureka College basketball is made possible by Potter Rentals of Gilman, Illinois. Owned and operated by Ernie and Barb Folkers Potter, both Eureka College class 1965. Potter Rentals offers both residential and commercial property rentals, including vacation rentals in beautiful Prescott, Arizona. You can get more information on their website at potterrentals.com.
MUW up 57-33. We welcome you back into the City Blue Technologies broadcast booth. Matthew Swan on the call. As always, you're listening to EC 103.1. Up to this point, Jacayla Smith, 16 points. She continues to lead the Owls offense as the rest of her teammates are really just starting to build around her gameplay. Mia Bowen closely behind with 14, and she has really stepped up in this third quarter as the interior presence, just generating a lot of second chance opportunities for her team. The 5 on the floor right now for MUW is Phillips, Jessica Hughes, Kiera Hughes, Jacayla Smith. That one no good. Wilson also on the floor for MUW. Here comes Martinez, dribbles beyond the perimeter. That pass was a floater taken away by Wilson, and there is nobody in front of her. An easy bucket for the junior guard. 59 points for the Owls. Eureka trying to respond. They've really been put into a position where their backs are up against the wall all game. Collins with an awkward shot attempt off of one leg, and a right hand from the right side of the basket knocks it down. Here comes Phillips. Wilson guarded by Armstrong. Phillips now drifting over to her right. Newton standing with her arms out wide. Great defense. Hughes against Martinez, and that is an offensive foul. A very clear, evident call for the referee on the sideline. MUW picks up turnover number 12. It'll be Eureka basketball. Just over 3 minutes left to go in the third quarter. Collins, left side, avoids the Bowman screen, gets to the left side of the basket, puts it up, draws contact, and she will be sent to the line. That is a common move by Kayla Collins. She is a very nifty player, but she never uses the Bowman screen, and it's a little surprising to me. So Collins at the free throw line. 3:12 left to go. She knocks down the first attempt. Collins out of Fort Worth, Texas. She will go 2 for 2 at the free throw line. Here comes Wilson on the other end. Armstrong backpedals. Wilson picks up the dribble, passes to Hughes. Hughes from beyond the free throw line, no good. Collins with the rebound. She's going to push the pace, starting to heat up. Collins will spin out beyond the right perimeter and slow things down reasonably so. Collins on the attack at the basket, and good. Kayla Collins, that fire starting to appear from her basketball shoes. Just under 3 to go. 59-39 is the score. MUW continues to hold on to a very comfortable lead. Great defense by Armstrong against Wilson. Good screen from Hughes. Wilson, right side of the basket. It's tipped out of bounds by Martinez. There's that defense. MUW is a very interesting school. Despite the name Mississippi University for Women, the school has been co-ed since 1982, but they kept the historic name for tradition. There's Bowen with a left hand over Bowman. Too easy for the 6'2 guard. 61-39 the score. Here comes Armstrong. Good crossover move. Attempt for 3 off the back of the rim. Newton grabs the offensive board at the rim. Right side off the mark, and it's Smith pulling down the basketball. Smith crossover move against Collins. Smith will pass it out. Langford for 3 off the mark. Grabs her own offensive board, puts it back up from the free throw line and knocks it down. That is the one shooter on this team that needs to be guarded. If there's a player that you can't leave open, it is Conley Langford. And Eureka left her way too open on that drive. Armstrong flips it over to Collins. Collins guarded by Jacayla Smith. Collins right to left hand, and she will get called for a turnover. I believe that was another double dribble, if I'm not mistaken. Clock will stop at 1:33. MUW 63, Eureka 39. Phillips finds Bowen, and that'll be tipped out of bounds by Martinez. So again, another very short clock stoppage. Coach Pace wanting to see more enthusiasm from his team, as they're playing at a very slow pace right now, almost as if they are mentally checked out. Phillips gets the inbound pass deep beyond the perimeter. Nice right-hand pass to Bowen. Bowen, a deep two, and she knocks it down. Bowen has a very interesting shot attempt. She doesn't really have to jump that often because of how tall she is. She kind of just starts low and rises up without lifting her feet. Armstrong picks up her dribble, flips it to Newton, right side of the basketball court, and Newton draws some contact. Clock stops at 1 minute and 1 second. Subbing in for the Owls, it'll be Charity Hinton on the floor. Martinez for three off the mark. Langford with the rebound. Langford pushing the pace, directing traffic while dribbling across half court. Good find. Bowen in the paint. She'll be double teamed. Langford was left open for a minute. Passes over to Jessica Hughes, and it's taken away by Collins. Eureka pushing the pace. Collins right side of the court. Jumping up, firing, no good. Langford with the basketball. Great reception. Here comes Phillips on the other end. Same move. Hinton left side against Bowman. Puts it up with the left hand and somehow gets it to fall through. Armstrong starting to slow things down. 15 seconds left to go in quarter number 3. Collins directing traffic. There's a Bowman screen. Collins to her right. She falls down, and that'll be an easy travel call for the referee. Red Devils continuing to pick up those turnovers. That's number 22 for them on the afternoon. They're really beating themselves right now. 6 seconds on the clock. Hinton with the basketball. She's going to have to get out a shot. Pushes the pace, puts it up with the left hand, no good. And the third quarter comes to an end. MUW on top 67-39. Eureka has trailed for the entirety of the ball game. They will look to ignite the last spark of energy, if there is even any momentum at all, into the fourth quarter. We'll be back. Stay tuned. You're listening to EC 103.1 live from the City Blue Technologies broadcast booth.
Eureka College basketball is made possible by Metamora Kirby Foods. They are 100% employee owned, with a deli, produce section, and meat department with its own in-house butcher. Metamora Kirby Foods is open from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m., 7 days a week. They are located on West Mount Vernon Street in Metamora. Get more information at kirbyfoods.com.
Eureka College basketball is made possible by Randy Begole, a State Farm agent in Peoria. Randy graduated from Eureka College in 1994. He played basketball and tennis and was also a member of the TKE fraternity. Randy has been serving State Farm customers since 2001. His office is located at the corner of Knoxville and Forest Hill in Peoria. You can reach him at 309-322-8150 or at randybegole.com. That's Randy, BEGOLE.com.
We get ready for the fourth and final quarter between the Eureka Red Devils and MUW here from Columbus, Mississippi. We welcome you into the City Blue Technologies broadcast booth. Matthew Swan on the call. 10 minutes on the clock. Eureka down 67-39. It'll be Red Devils basketball to kick things off. Good screen from Brown. Collins digging to the left side, picks up her dribble, passes to Martinez, over to Collins once again. Good perimeter defense from the Owls. Bounce pass stolen by Langford in the paint. She will slow things down here. That is the right move for MUW as they look to close this one out and potentially pick up win number 5 overall of the season, win number 4 in conference play. Langford overhead pass to Phillips on the right side of the court. Finds Bowen in the paint, right side. Picks up her dribble, puts it up off the glass, and good. Mia Bowen. She continues to add on to her night as she's now up to 20 points. Here's Armstrong on the other end. Dribbles beyond the perimeter. Armstrong, lead pass. Collins on the move, picks up her dribble, puts it up, and she gets fouled by Bowen. Boy, I'll say that's still pretty impressive for Collins, who for Eureka stands at 5'5", and took on a defender like Bowen, who stands at 6'2". Of course, Collins didn't knock down the shot, but I'll tell you why that's impressive, because Collins found enough spacing to the point where she was still able to get out a shot to begin with. And that's all you can ask for if you are the Red Devils. You just need opportunities, and Collins did a great job at finding one. No good on the first attempt from Collins. And she will go 0 for 2 at the line. Brown tried to grab the offensive board, tipped it out of bounds. It'll go in favor of the Owls. So the 5 on the floor for MUW, Hinton, Bowen, Jessica Hughes, Conley Langford, and Phillips all on the floor. For Eureka, it's Armstrong, Newton, Brown, Collins, and Martinez. Phillips on the attack, right side in front of the scorer's table. And that pass deflected out of bounds off the hands of Hinton. It'll be Eureka basketball. Clock stops at 8:47. MUW 69, Eureka 39. Collins crosses half court after receiving the inbound. Collins against Hinton, stops her feet beyond the perimeter. Good ball control, kicks it out. Armstrong thought about the triple, instead stays on the move. Armstrong in trouble, she's wrapped up, and that will be a jump ball in favor of MUW. Armstrong wanted a foul. She immediately tapped her forearm, saying, I was contacted very heavily. Eureka will begin to import a full court press of their own. Every Red Devil on one side of the floor except Martinez. She's on the backcourt. Here comes Hinton. Finds Bowen, and that'll be way too easy for Bowen, as she was guarded by Abigail Martinez, and that is a height difference that Bowen will win every single time. Here's Collins on the attack against Hinton. Good screen from Brown. Collins nearly lost it, finds Martinez, open look over Bowen, and good. Abigail Martinez able to get into the scoring column. Martinez has had some struggles recently just playing in her head, but she's been doing a great job at staying consistent. Langford lost it on the way up, and it'll stick with the Owls. 7:53 left to go. We see some Eureka basketball fans start to make their way into this ball game, imaginably for the men's basketball game. It'll be Langford at the free throw line. She knocks down the first attempt. Langford for the Owls in this ball game, 13 points, only 2 for 10 from the field, and 1 for 5 from behind the arc. Not one of her best performances, but as a team, MUW will take it. So now it's Eureka basketball. Collins again, the offensive backbone currently for Eureka. Jump pass to Newton. Left wing, fake pass, finds Brown. Brown around the circle. Here's Martinez on the run, and she knocks down the bucket. Somehow she finds a way. Abigail Martinez, back-to-back buckets on back-to-back possessions. Here come the Owls. 73-43 to score, and Hinton on the shot attempt draws the contact. So for these Eureka women, again, this is their final game of this short road series, but right after this, they will return home against Webster University. Webster, who is the #1 seed in the SLIAC right now, they are 13-7 overall, 10-1 in conference play. That will be a very challenging matchup for the Red Devils. Brown finds Armstrong. Armstrong on the baseline of the right side of the court, finds some space, picks up her dribble. Collins beyond the left perimeter, over to Brown, thought about three, hands it off to Martinez. Martinez, who has been heating up in this fourth quarter. Brown for three, no good off the glass, and it's Langford with the rebound. MUW jogs across half court, not as aggressive as they were in the first half. Phillips falls to the ground, finds Langford, good save, and able to avoid the travel. Langford short on the attempt, and Newton with the rebound. 6:40 left to play. It'll be Armstrong with the basketball. She's in control. Martinez, good pump fake against Phillips. This time kicked out. Newton for three, off the mark. And Bowen, over her own teammate Langford, grabs the board. Again, pushing the pace, and Bowen with a nice, easy look. Again, using all 6'2" of her height to score that bucket. The Red Devils are beginning to get mentally checked out. Not a lot of energy being displayed on the floor. Kayla Collins on the attack, puts up the shot, no good. And Langford with yet another rebound. Langford now has a double-double in this ball game, and there's another couple of points for Bowen. Langford and Bowen both have a double-double in this ball game. Jacayla Smith, 3 rebounds away from obtaining her own double-double. Here comes Phillips, kicks it out. Bowen, open look, and she knocks it down. There was just no defense at all. Just under 5.5 minutes left to go. 80-43, MUW on top. There's a bucket for Miracle Armstrong as she's able to connect. Brown guarding Phillips. Phillips spins around off the glass and good. Khaleesi Phillips able to knock down a bucket as well. Not a lot of defense in this fourth quarter. It seems like both teams kind of gave up trying to defend. All of a sudden, it is just an offensive duel, and there will be a timeout, one that is very much needed. So stay tuned. 4:58 left to go. MUW 82, Eureka 45. You are listening to EC 103.1 live from the City Blue Technologies broadcast booth.
Eureka College basketball is made possible by City Blue Technologies of Peoria, an Epson distributor serving Central Illinois. City Blue offers Epson Precision Core Heat-Free Printing as an alternative to laser printers. City Blue was founded in 1968 and serves more than 5,000 active customers. Learn more about sustainable printing solutions from City Blue Technologies at citybluetechnologies.com.
MUW leads it 82-45. Just under 5 minutes left to go. We welcome you into the City Blue Technologies broadcast booth for coverage of today's game between the Eureka Red Devils and Mississippi University for women. Eureka again 0-21, MUW 4-15. Those are the overall records for both programs. It'll be Owls basketball to start things off. MUW 82, Eureka 45. It'll be Phillips to cross half court. She will be met by Armstrong. Immediately Phillips on the attack. An awkward shot attempt, no good, but she does draw the contact. Again, you're listening to EC 103.1, Matthew Swan on the call. So Phillips will be sent to the free throw line. She has the most three-point attempts on this team, which is surprising to see her try to attack the basket. If there is one thing that I could place my input on about the way Eureka has played, of course I'm not the coach, but Eureka has lacked defensive pressure. And players like Khaleesi Phillips, they struggle when they face with defensive intensity, and there hasn't been a lot of that shown from the Red Devils. So I feel like, you know, given the situation, you apply more pressure on defense, maybe there's a chance, maybe this game gets a little closer. Of course, you're missing a couple star players. You don't have most of the players you began the season with. Collins on the attack, good bounce pass. Martinez from the left side of the basket, no good. And a fight for the basketball. It'll be a jump ball. And Eureka will maintain possession. 82-45 the score. Just under 4.5 minutes to go. Martinez will inbound from the left side. Finds Collins in the corner. Collins drifts over to her right, creates some space, and she is tied up. And I believe they're going to say she got fouled. So Phillips will come out of the game. And Asia Glass re-enters for the Owls. Martinez once again trying to inbound. Good pass deflected by Jessica Hughes. Newton over Hughes off the mark. Newton tried to grab the board. And again, another mix-up between both sides. This time, it'll be MUW basketball. Kiera Hughes inbounds here. 4:15 left to play. Hinton, heavily guarded by Armstrong, creates some space. Now gets in front of Armstrong and uses the right hand to finish. 84 points for the Owls. Armstrong makes a move. Good footwork, and the shot goes out of bounds, but it was deflected. It'll stick with the Red Devils here. That foul will go against Jessica Hughes. So that'll send Armstrong to the free throw line. Again, the 5th team foul in the quarter against the Owls. No good on the first attempt. Armstrong 6 for 9 from the field in this ball game, having a very consistent performance, if you will. Second attempt falls through. That'll be point number 46 for the Red Devils. Just under 4 minutes left to go. Glass lost it on the way to the basket. Brown able to recover. Here comes Armstrong. Collins, open room up ahead, uses the right hand and gets the 2 points. 84-48 is the score. Just over 3.5 minutes left to go. Newton will guard Kiera Hughes. Hughes kicks it out. Hinton for 3 and good. Hinton able to connect from beyond the arc. And that will seal the deal on this ball game if it wasn't clear enough already. Martinez no good, gets her own offensive board. Collins from the left of the free throw line knocks it down. Kayla Collins up to 18. This is the type of energy Eureka needed to start with. And we always see this happen. They start to get more energetic. They always start to find their groove late in the game, but at that point it's too late. 3 minutes left to go in this ball game. It'll be Kiera Hughes at the free throw line. Again, stay tuned. Very shortly after this broadcast, we will be covering the men's basketball game against MUW as well. Kiera Hughes knocks down the bucket. Here's attempt number 2 from the line. And she goes 2 for 2. We see some substitutions for MUW. JC Garrison comes in, along with Tamara Ross, both freshmen for the Owls. Here's Collins, left side of the court, gets inside the perimeter, puts up the shot, rolls around the rim, no good, but she draws contact. That foul goes against Hinton. So again, Collins with yet another trip to the free throw line. Collins in this ballgame, 20 points. 6 for 8 from the free throw line up to this point. Here's Collins for attempt number 2. She knocks it down. 90-52 the score. Here comes Ross, pushing the pace, nearly traveled, finds Garrison. Garrison has to get rid of it, over to Glass. Glass kicks it out, Jessica Hughes, top of the key for a triple off the mark. Tried to get it to fall, no good. Here comes the Red Devils. Armstrong lost it, it's stolen by Ross. Immediately getting into transition. Here's Glass with the right hand, unsuccessful. Collins pushes the pace for Eureka. Finds Martinez in the right corner. Martinez picks up the dribble. Collins under the basket, puts up the right hand, no good, and the foul. 2:11 left to go. Hinton picks up her 3rd foul of this game. Brooklyn Bowman will sub in for Miracle Armstrong. Armstrong has been doing everything she can in this game to utilize the abilities that Eureka has, but there are not many. Again, you look at the limited roster size for Eureka and understand the type of deficit they've had to play with practically for all season long. Turnover by Eureka. It was tipped out of bounds. Tamara Ross will inbound. She finds Hinton. Hinton right in front of the scorer's table. Right side drifts downhill. Kicks it out. Garrison for three. Way off the mark. And the offensive board taken away by Hinton. Hinton for three. Off the side of the backboard. Glass with the offensive board. No good. Here comes Martinez. 1:50 left to go. Collins against Jessica Hughes. And she is successful off the glass from the right side. MUW will come out with this ball game on top, so they will improve to 5-15 overall, 4-8 in conference play. Garrison, right wing, stops her feet, picks up the dribble. That bounce pass stripped away. Martinez recovers. Here comes Eureka. Martinez, Euro step, puts it up. Garrison with the block. That'll get the MUW bench excited. Here comes Ross. Loose ball, and this will be a whistle for sure, as several Red Devils players were involved in the tussle. It'll stick with, I believe, Eureka. So it'll be Raylan Brown to inbound. Brown finds Bowman inside the perimeter. Bowman flips it to Collins, who drifts to her right, and again off the glass. She's been really good in that spot. 1 minute left to go. MUW leads it 89-58. Here comes Ross. Gets in MUW territory. Makes a move off the rim, no good. Gets it back, puts it up off the mark, and it is tipped out of bounds by Newton. So it'll be MUW basketball still. 46.4 seconds left to go. Jessica Hughes, left wing. Finds the glass. Glass starts to dribble, picks it up. Back to Hughes. Hughes finds some space. Good pump fake and the finish against Bowman. Jessica Hughes gains some points. Just over 30 seconds left to go. Martinez bounce pass over to Collins. Collins guarded by Hinton. She loses it on the way forward, and there's going to be a foul. So the clock will stop at 23.1 seconds left to go. Hinton with her fourth foul of the ball game. That'll send Collins to the free throw line. Collins on the first attempt is successful. This is her 15th game of the season, averaging just over 33 minutes a game, and she has really stepped forward for Eureka in this one. She goes 2 for 2 at the free throw line. Here comes Ross. Ross on the attack, draws more contact. But let's talk more about Kayla Collins. Right now in this ball game, 30 points. That's a season high for her, folks. She has just set a season high. You know, when you lose some of your star players, you ask other members of the team to step up, and that's exactly what Kayla Collins has done. Sometimes that's a role that you don't even get assigned. You just start to factor in some of those leadership skills and take it upon yourself to do just that. Ross no good on attempt number 2. Eureka just over 10 seconds left to go. They will jog. Collins jogs across half court. Between the legs, they'll have a chance for one more shot. Collins on the attack, and she draws contact, so she will be sent to the line. As Garrison picks up her first foul. Collins knocks down the first bucket. She's up to 31. Well, if you remember for the men's basketball team, Jackson Provost has a season high of 32 points, and Collins for the women's team just tied that up. She's up to 32. 1 second left to go, and Ross will just hold on to it. So that's the ball game. MUW comes on top by a score 91-62. MUW improves to 5-15 overall, 4-8 in conference play. Eureka, through their first 22 games of the season, remain winless as they continue to stay eliminated in conference play. But for the women, again, they'll be back at home shortly after this, and they'll be ready to face Webster University, the #1 seed in the conference. But that is all we have for you for today's coverage. Our next broadcast of Eureka basketball will be in roughly 30 minutes. Eureka visiting MUW. You can listen to that broadcast right here on EC 103.1, live from the City Blue Technologies broadcast booth. Eureka College basketball is made possible by City Blue Technologies, a leading Epson dealer serving Central Illinois. Potter Rentals of Gilman, Illinois, owned and operated by Ernie and Barb Potter, both Eureka College class of 1965. Heartland Bank and Trust. Randy DeGole, your State Farm agent in Peoria, Eureka College class of 1994, and by Kirby Foods in Metamora. The executive producer of Eureka College basketball is Dr. John Malone. Tonight's studio operator is Liv Cardinieri. On behalf of my broadcast crew, this is Matthew Swan. Thank you for listening.